just about where I'm sitting, there used to be a pig pen. Right around here. So I guess it's for a reason. It's this muddy area here. The funny thing is, I just gave up pork, and I, you know, me being a Christian Muslim Rasta, that kind of means I get to pick and choose whatever I believe, you know. I mean, every man gets, that's the thing about it. What's supposed to be is every man, every woman, every person is supposed to be able to choose what they believe. You know, and I think that's what's written as far as what's in this country. But also, I just think that's a human right. But you know, part of this whole off the plantation thing is that that's just not how it works, you know, and that's what part of what's always bugged me is growing up. I remember listening to Farrakhan. I remember the first time I heard Minister Farrakhan, I was about 14, 15. And I was just like, wow, it was on cassette tape. Somebody had acquired it, you know. Back then you didn't have YouTube, or he was never on TV or anything like that. It wasn't easy to come across unless you went to Detroit or Chicago, or, I mean, you know, I guess he always traveled around. But my point is, it just wasn't easy to hear Farrakhan. And I remember I had that tape and I listened to it not over and over and over and over, but over and over. Like I damn sure listened to it, you know, like, you know. Once I got a hold of it, man, once I got a hold of the truth, somebody speaking the truth, I was just like, oh, I was craving that, you know. Because I knew all along that something wasn't right about the way that we're, like, if you know a little bit of truth, which I did, then you just crave more truth, you know. But what I was saying about religious freedom and being on the plantation, you know, if you grew up Christian, believing in Jesus, white Jesus, or even Jewish, and you go to temple, and you could even wear the hat, you could be a Sikh with the beard and the, I guess, I don't know if it's a turban or what you call that, you know, that what they wear on their heads, and that's always perfectly fine. Even in corporate America, you might be looked at a little differently, but it's not like you're hated or an outcast or an outlaw. But I've always had to hide that part of me. That's my religion as far as being a RASTAMAN. You know, if I wanted to have dreadlocks and dress kind of like, you know, Rasta doesn't have any kind of certain dress, but I mean, a lot of Rastafarians do sort of dress a certain way and wear their hair a certain way. And you know, if I had a picture of Farrakhan on my desk or my cubicle or my office wall or whatever, that kind of thing like that, it wouldn't work out. There'd be problems, you know. So it's like, it's just, there's always been that sort of just hanging over my head, you know. I can't really be what I am. And I know there's a lot of people that don't understand that, you know. A lot of people that they don't understand it because they don't want to understand it. But that's the truth, just like anybody else's truth about saying that they're a Christian or a Jewish or a Sikh or any of that stuff. You know what? I'm a follower of Farrakhan. I've been listening to Farrakhan whenever I could get my hands on Farrakhan. Like I said, since I was about 14 or 15 years old. So you know. Now I basically have to go off the plantation. I had to leave the corporate world. Like, you know, you white people, regular Brady Bunch Americans, you think that, you know, it's a choice, that I choose to be weird or different. I choose to not live in corporate America. And therefore, that's why I don't have the fancy job with the fancy salary and the fancy apartment and all that stuff. But it's not a choice. That's who I am. That's who I am and what I am. And if I want to be a Christian or a Muslim or a Rasta or all three or anything in between, golly, man, y'all claim that it's freedom of religion, but y'all don't really mean that. So I mean it. So I gave up a lot. I had to give up a lot, which is not the American, it's not supposed to be the American way. But, you know, here I am.